and welcome to another edition of Power Wheel, a production of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. First, the headlines. Ondo government seeks collaboration with TCN on bulk power delivery to the state. Defense Intelligence College trains 25 officers on power sector improvement. How activities of saboteurs threaten investments in transmission lines. Plus, Ilupeju transmission substation will be upgraded to service industries, says TCN official in the interview segment. Get more trending reports as you stay with us on this edition of Power Wheel. I am Chinwenwa Anyao. The governor of Ondo State, Chief Rotimi Akeredolu, has held a meeting with the management of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, led by the MD CEO, Mr. Usman Guru Mohammed. The discussions were on collaborative strategies to achieve improved bulk power supply in Ondo State.
Speaking during the meeting held at the TCN corporate headquarters, Powerhouse, Abuja, Governor Akeredolu said Ondo State plays host to a motor show generation company, Genco, which is sited near the industrial park developed by the state. He said there was need for more power supply to the industrial park and other hubs in Ondo.
And today, we have been successful. The industrial park is it's for us to be there to know that, look, a number of big industries have come up. Today, there we have plywood, we have industry on MDF, we have cassava to ethanol factory, they are all big. We have textile, we have paper mill, we have agrochemicals. Everything is so big.
Akeredolu also sought the support of the TCN management in collaborating with the Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company, IBEDC, to connect many rural areas to the national grid in one of the senatorial districts of the state.
We had to, on our own, had people contracted to do mini grids, to use solar in some places, take the solar around and put in the palace. Everybody is happy, the palace is good, go to a few places, it can go around. And the mini grids, yes, exclusivity we gave to them and everything that, okay, they have their meter is running. So, but it's not what the people want. They have been in darkness for almost 8 years. The whole senatorial district have no light. So, as I said, we should repeat that. I'm sure the deputy governor, when he came, mentioned that, and that has been one of our major problems.
On the ongoing 330 kV transmission substation project in Akure, the governor said he was reassured that the power from the substation can go to many places. He therefore pleaded with TCN so a section of the bulk power can go to Owo town to boost electricity in the town.
I was just wondering if one of these legs can go to Owo or the other direction on the way to Benin. And I felt, well, I could mention it. And that is essentially my shopping list.
In his remarks, the MD CEO of TCN, Mr. Usman Guru Mohammed, said he was delighted to receive Governor Akeredolu of Ondo State government about 6 months after the deputy governor had paid a courtesy visit to the management of TCN.
We know that there's a lot we can do with Ondo State, and we also are willing to cooperate with Ondo State to see how we can advance the extension of electricity to Ondo State, both to the industry and also to the populace.
Mohammed intimated the governor with the eligible customer regulation that allows a customer to contract energy from the Gencos and have TCN will it to such customer to get reliable bulk power supply.
And on that note, the supply of those people are more reliable than the normal supply, even though they are paying less. So this is why it's very, very popular.
He lauded the governor for continuing the industrial park project in other parts of the state, saying it will boost the siting of agro-based factories around there.
I'm very happy to work with you, and I want to tell you also from our side, transmission, because I know some of the things that Ondo State is doing. In all our program, we have not forgotten the plans of Ondo State. I know we have a problem with off-taker. So if you look at old generation stations, they are not coming up very fast. But I believe that in this second coming of this government, we will solve all the problems that is making us not to have enough off-taker. We know that the capacity of Nigeria is more than these 5,000 that we have. We know that because the distribution network are very weak. That's why we are not taking more energy. But we believe that very soon, if you look at various initiatives that's on the table, this off-taker capacity of the distribution will be expanded.
On the 330 kV transmission substation project, Mr. Mohammed said the compensation of right of way has been processed for payment while the contractor has been asked to speed up the project. He said there are some structures along the transmission line that will need the support of the government of Ondo and that of Osun State to remove them.
But there are some other issues we requested the support of Ondo State government and Osun State government. Please, even the side of Osun, Oga can intervene, because Akure is going to be the biggest beneficiary of completion of that line. Akure will have 330 kV substation, and that will significantly change the voltage level of Akure and the stability of the power.
The Defense Intelligence College has graduated 25 officers after undergoing a course on a training on power sector improvement as a catalyst for the national development of Nigeria.
The graduation ceremony, which was held in the college site in Karu, Abuja, was presided over by the Chief of Defense Intelligence, Air Vice Marshal Mohammed Saliu Osman, with the Managing Director of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, Mr. Osman Gur Mohammed, in attendance. In his address, the special guest at the graduation ceremony and Chief of Defense Intelligence, Air Vice Marshal Mohammed Saliu Osman, said he was pleased with the graduation ceremony, noting that the course was the highest in the college.
Let me also congratulate you all on the conferment of the Past Advanced Defense Intelligence Officers course, PADIOC for short. I therefore urge you all to be good ambassadors of the college in particular and the Defense Intelligence Agency in general. Once again, I heartily congratulate all the graduates for successfully completing this course.
One of the training facilitators, Mr. James B. Obi, who gave an overview of the course, said the Advanced Defense Intelligence Officers Course 12/2019 on effective power generation, transmission and distribution as a catalyst for Nigeria's national development began in February with 25 participants drawn from the services and the Defense Intelligence Agency, DIA. The program, according to Obi, exposed the participants to the intricacies of power supply generation, transmission and distribution, and they made recommendations for improvements.
In order to effectively interrogate the issues surrounding the power sector, participants were given a series of lectures on relevant topics by the leadership of generating companies, the Transmission Company of Nigeria, and Abuja Electricity Distribution Company. I'm happy to note that the federal government a few days ago approved implementation of one of the measures alluded to in the report. It would be recalled that the Federal Executive Council during the week approved the intervention fund extension to generating companies in line with the seminar's recommendations to fund the power sector.
The Commandant Defense Intelligence College, DIC, Commodore A.M. Ibrahim, said the Defense Intelligence will continue to provide vital information and knowledge to various agencies of government for the development of Nigeria. To the graduates, he congratulated them and urged them to be good ambassadors of the armed forces. The graduating participants were called upon by the Commandant, Commodore Ibrahim, and the Defense Intelligence Chief Usman presented the certificates.
Abdullahi works at the Deputy Chief of Defense Intelligence Office. The Nigerian Air Force.
AVM Usman was recognized by the college and was presented the Defense Intelligence DIC pin for his support towards the success of the various courses in the college. He then presented the DIC recognition pins to other dignitaries, including the Deputy Chief of Defense Intelligence, Major General C.M. Abraham. The MD, CEO of TCN, Mr. Usman Gur Mohammed, got a special recognition for the enormous role TCN played in the success of the Advanced Defense Intelligence Officers Course 12/2019.
Let's take a short break for a message. We'll be right back.
In the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, we transmit bulk electricity from power generating companies, GenCos, to distribution load centers of various distribution companies, DISCOs. Nationwide, we do not generate electricity, neither do we distribute same directly to electricity consumers. TCN has two business units, the Transmission Service Provider, TSP, and Independent System Operations, ISO. The ISO comprised of System Operation, SO, and Market Operation, MO. The business units all perform specialized functions under the TCN umbrella. Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, wielding power for national economic growth. This message is brought to you by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, says the nefarious activities of saboteurs and vandals threatening the huge investments the company is making in transmission lines and substations to boost bulk power delivery nationwide.
The head transmission service provider TSP at TCN, Engineer Victor Adewumi, disclosed this in an interview. While referring to the vandals as economic saboteurs, he said the implication of the activities on the nation's power infrastructure was enormous.
They are saboteurs because when you look at the impact of their vandalism on transmission lines, it is enormous. You know, many a times you look at what is the economic worth of what they are removing from the line compared to the damage they are causing this country.
Engineer Adewumi gave an instance of the recent vandalism incidents in Delta on the Benin transmission line, where several towers were affected and that the line lost about 600 megawatts transmission capacity during the period.
That is the line that evacuates power from Delta to our Benin bus. When you lose evacuation of about 600 megawatts from Delta power station, you know the impact of that on the stability of the grid. So it is unimaginable that people will just wake up one day because of whatever reason, remove tower members on their line. At times, when they don't even remove the tower members, they only remove the bolts and nuts, waiting for a little wind to bring the tower down. And that's what happened, you know, on Benin Delta line, specifically on Tower 61.
He called on law enforcement agencies to increase their surveillance efforts towards apprehending vandals and saboteurs of national power infrastructures, noting that such acts of vandalism are not known in other countries.
Let me use this opportunity to call on our, law enforcement agencies to actually apprehend these vandals. It's only in Nigeria that you see angle irons, at times even with our number on them, being sold in the open market, and yet these people are not apprehended. When people continue to commit crime and they go away with it, you are encouraging them to even to continue. So it's a serious problem to us in transmission, because when a tower collapses, not only are you going to lose the energy being transported by that tower, by that particular line, but what it costs us and the time. You don't build a tower overnight. It costs not a minimum of 4 weeks to erect another transmission line. So by that period, you know what you are going to cost to the general public. Even in that particular Delta Benin line that was brought down by vandals, some of them came when they saw a man walking, repairing the tower. They came telling us that we have some angle iron to sell. Of course, this was reported to the police, but nothing was done, unfortunately.
Engineer Dewumi also spoke about some key achievements of TCN under the present management led by the MD, CEO, Mr. Usman Gur Mohammed. He said one of such was the remarkable improvement in the frequency of the national grid for about 65% of the time since December 2018. He explained this saying,
when the new MD came, and he said we have to enforce free governor control, we thought it's going to be impossible. It's not easy enforcing free governor control. But he said he's going to do it. But that is the only way we can have a quality power supply to our people. People used to brag that, especially our neighboring countries, Ghana used to brag that they have a better voltage than us in Nigeria. So the MD said he's going to eliminate this. So actually he directed that all the generators should enforce free governor control to the extent that we must operate within a particular frequency bandwidth. Of course, it was tough initially, but we were able to enforce it. So I can tell you presently the frequency bandwidth we are operating is between 49.8 to 50.20. You have frequency affected. It means much, especially some of these communication equipment. You see many people trying to knock off because of the low quality. But now everybody is trying to hook up back to supply from the national grid because of the quality of the voltage coming from TCN now, because of this frequency control put in place.
The head of the transmission service provider TSP arm of TCN urged the staff to remain focused and resolute in their support to the present management towards achieving the Transmission Rehabilitation and Expansion Program (TREP) that seeks to raise the bulk power wheeling capacity from the present 8,100 megawatts to 20,000 megawatts.
My advice to them is, let us, keep the struggle. We are going to win. Definitely, we are going to win. Let us continue to work hard. Like we say in TCN, the reward for hard work is more work. But the truth is that we don't have any other country other than Nigeria. We know that power has this singular effect of upturning any economy anywhere in the world. Where you have regular power supply, it affects the economy of that place. And when you have areas where you have low, power supply, of course the economy of that place will be down. So I'm appealing to everybody in TCN to continue to work hard. Let's continue to put in more effort, develop our country through stable power supply. At the end of the day, all of us will be winners.
There are plans to upgrade the 132 kilovolt Ilupeju transmission substation in Lagos State to provide bulk power to industries being revived in the area to boost the economy. The Assistant General Manager, AGM Transmission, Akangba Sub-Region, under the Lagos region, Engineer Charles Iwamadi, who is also in charge of the Ilupeju substation, spoke about this in an interview session with Power Wheel. What is the capacity of this substation?
Ilupeju 132 kV substation has a capacity of 105 MVA. Ilupeju covers all Ilupeju and East environ, part of Ugudu, part of Ademola, and part of Oshodi and his environ. He also take care of part of Maryland.
What are the plans of TCN for this substation?
Those 2 by 15 MVA transformers, they are 132 11 kV transformers, which is actually the only one existing, I think, in our network, and we don't want to be operating at that level. So we want to change those 2 by 15 MVA 132 11 to 2 by 60 stroke 33 kV, and then bring out the have an outdoor 33 kV switchyard to accommodate that, and do some adjustment on the bus. And that control room actually had to also go through a rehabilitation and facelift and changes.
The substation is situated in an industrial area. Is it still sufficient for them?
Ilupeju is an industrial area, but most of those companies, as it were, are no more linked up to that network. But as it is, we used to have these what do they call all these industries that you make clothes, that is textile industries around there, which most of them are no more active. But we still have 1 or 2, which the level we have here now, by the time we upgrade this, we'll still accommodate those that are about to leave.
Is there any plan to service eligible customers from this substation when they require such?
By the time we upgrade these 2 now, the eligible customer will naturally come. We have some areas where eligible customers are already on, and they are making proposals like Ejora and Amuwo.
What challenge does the company envisage on the upgrade of the substation?
The challenge we might get from is the corridor for the distribution company to start rearranging their platform to accommodate the 33 kV switch room to evacuate from the 30 kV switch was against that level. We envisage that problem, but we're also going to synergize with them to get it solved before the commencement and completion of this project.
We're glad you followed through with us on this edition of Power Wheel. Join us next week on the same station for another edition. This episode and the previous ones are available on our YouTube channel. You can also connect with us on these other platforms showing on your screen. I am Chinwenwa Anyanwu. Goodbye for now.